I know that watching as a kid Star Trek, the different incarnations of Star Trek were some of the only places that I, as a mixed kid, saw that kind of stuff being talked about. Did that affect you at all watching?
I think it was a huge deal. I mean, for me growing up, my mom's white, my dad's black, and Star Trek was it was one of the few places aside from like I Spy or something like that. But like Star Trek was one of the only places where you saw an Asian man, a black woman, people of South American descent, people everybody was represented on that show, and they were able to get away with it because of science fiction, and they're envisioning a world of the future, so it doesn't have to have any social impact or social reflection currently, but of course it did, obviously. So it was a really important show, and I think that's why my dad really liked it.
No, I wasn't.
Of course.
I mean,
Nerds of Color, just wanted to say we love all your work in front of the camera and doing the voiceovers. Can you just talk about what it means to be both a Star Trek fan and someone involved in the actual thing that you're a fan of?
Oh yeah, being both a fan and now getting to have so much access to this world, I feel like I've tricked someone. Like I feel like I played a joke or I like found a genie or something, and I wished for this wild thing to come true, and it did. Because now I get to be here in this official capacity, which is so wild, cool, and random. It's a fan's dream come true.
Thank you.
Cool.
We're from Nerds of Color.
Nice to meet you.
Just wanted to see, how are you feeling about being a part of
I'm thrilled to be a part of this. This is extremely exciting, and I kind of can't believe that not only do I get to do this, I get to do it with my friend Tawny, and that I am, a small part of a Trek show is like, it's wild to me. Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Michelle. Thanks for your time. We're from the Nerds of Color.
Say again?
The Nerds of Color website.
Yes, come on.
Yeah, and I just wanted to ask a couple questions about your thoughts on the importance of representation, especially race, but also with the advent of the relationship between Raffi and Seven, different sexualities, and it being having taken such a long time in Star Trek to get there. What are your thoughts on the importance of representation?
Yeah, great question. I think representation is unbelievably important. We don't realize how much it really impacts people to see themselves represented. We always hear like write what you know or tell the stories. You're not alone. There are other people, and that really is true. And the fact that Star Trek now has decided to engage in telling the story of not only someone who's perfectly imperfect like Raffi is, someone who struggles with addiction, who feels betrayed by the company that she's committed to, fails, absolutely fails, has a strained relationship with her child, who she abandoned, but is still trying, wakes up every day and is determined to try to help the many. I mean, this is an incredibly important story that nobody tells. And then this woman, this independent, stubborn person, finds this other incredible, stubborn, independent, driven woman, this Fenris Ranger, 7 of 9. How could these two individuals not find each other? And that's what I love about it, is that these two individuals found each other. They were drawn to each other. They were, inspired by each other. It doesn't matter whether they're girls, boys, non-trans, whatever. It doesn't matter. They're two people who loved each other. And that's what we have to get to. I'm born and raised in Greenwich Village, New York. I know nothing but lesbian, gay, trans, drag, all that stuff. Heterosexual relationships was the minority in my hood. So I'm so happy and so proud to stand loud and proud and represent and let people see themselves represented and know that we don't hurt society. We only impact it in a positive way, a more colorful way, a more diverse way, a more fulfilling way.
Thank you very much, and thank you for your work.
Absolutely.
Your character's relationship to his daughter has been a very important through line in the development of the character this season. And now that his daughter is no longer on board, how do you think his changing relationship to fatherhood is going to affect his character?
I think that's something that we'll have to find out. I think it's been a painful journey for him, one that was very hard to accept, and I think it will still inform, it will absolutely inform his journey through the next season. Whether we see that on the surface or not, but it will definitely be under the surface in the interior life. It's something that is not going to go away easily.
Well, I think that, I mean, for our audience especially, it's been important, interesting that Star Trek has had a significant, if small, history with portraying fathers of color, specifically African American fathers, and that's not, especially in positive ways that aren't always seen on other programs. And so I think, having that be such an important part of your character has been really impactful.
Absolutely. Yes, but it's simply based on the truth. African American fathers are, according to a study, actually the most engaged parents. Whether the child lives in a single parent home or not, whether the father is with a mother or not, African American fathers are the most engaged fathers in the United States. That's actually real. Those are the numbers. So, of course, we've been fed with images and stories of, we know why that is, but those that know, and it's wonderful that this show did that in such a, without that being the spotlight. You know what I mean? Like, I did the work knowing that fact, which is something I had read years ago. And so there was a bit of that really in there to just show this beautiful relationship, this beautiful love this man has for his child. And so I'm glad you picked up on that. And but it's the norm, that regardless of what the screen or the media tells you, that is actually the norm.
Well, thank you for your time and for your work.
Thank you so much.
Hello. Yes.
Hi, so we're from the Nerds of Color, and I just wanted to get your sense of the importance of how, we talk a lot about the increasing diversity of shows like the latest incarnation of Star Trek, and we all sort of give lip service to, yes, representation is important, but especially for fans of color to see a show like yours representing us, it's hard to put into words how important that is.
Yeah, it definitely.
And I know, especially online, you are a vocal, defender of
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I think you said it by saying it's hard to put into words. But what showrunners told me when we first started was that we reflect the world that we live in, and so that's what we see on the bridge. And so for me, it's like it's really important that when people see me and they see a part of themselves in me, that they know that I'm standing up for them as well, and I'm up there as them. And the beautiful thing about Ortegas is that a lot of times people she says what the audience is thinking, and so in a lot of ways people can see themselves in me and on the bridge, and that's a testament to the writers, because I've been allowed to get great writing, and then that makes my job easy. But what we do is it's very organic, in that the relationships that you see are kind of developing, and fans from around the world that I didn't even think I realized how huge the fandom was, are really responding to it. And so that's why on social media and outside of my work on set, it's just really important to me to engage with the fans and to hear from fans how they see me, and they have their nieces, their nephews, their themselves. They see themselves in Erica's story, in my story as Melissa, and so I do my best to I'm kind of representative of Star Trek, as we are, and so that's important for people to see. And yeah, I'm ecstatic that a Latina is at the helm of the Enterprise, and I think it was important to me when I first booked the role because I'm Latina, my background is Colombian, but also like speaking to fans and hearing from them and saying, you know, we're so happy to see you there. That it makes it's very different when you actually hear it from the fans. Yeah. So I kind of rambled there, but did that all make sense?
Well, thank you for your work and for your time.
Absolutely. Thank you guys, and thank you for what you do. And I'm sorry I have to be whisked away.
Hello. I'm Jason, and this is my daughter Lucy. We're from the Nerds of Color.
Hello.
And we have been fans of yours since Lorna Bucket.
No way! Aww.
And you know, always immediately glomming onto other mixed Asian faces we see.
Oh, that's so cool, guys.
It's great to meet you.
Yeah, you too.
So she is a big Doctor Who fan.
Okay.
She got that from me.
Yes.
But I have not yet been able to get her into Star Trek.
Have you watched it?
How do I convince her?
Which episode did you watch?
A lot of
Tribbles?
a lot of people, a lot of
No.
Wait, all of it or just one episode?
Star Trek.
Yeah. Do you know what? I think give it a try. Watch episode 8 and then make a decision. Because Strangely Worlds season 1 in particular, the genres are just so different. So if you might not like the first episode, but if you watch episode 8, it's so different to what you would expect a Star Trek show to be. And number one, my dog is in it, so she's so cute. And yeah, everyone is having a lot of fun in episode 8, and I think that shows on screen. And yeah, I think that's what Strangely Worlds is you're not necessarily going to like every episode, but because every episode is very different, then there's probably going to be a good handful that you do really like. So I would not necessarily watch it in order, but just go and just, you know, have a play around and just try different episodes. Yeah.
And can you talk a little bit about the importance of the cast being so diverse?
Yeah, I mean, that's huge. Obviously, that's what Star Trek is about as well, and part of what I love about Star Trek. I didn't realise until I joined the show, but to be at the forefront, and it really is at the forefront of inclusion, diversity, one of those things is very important, because as a kid, I didn't have that growing up. I didn't watch Star Trek, so I also didn't have that growing up. There was no female, Asian female, or mixed, you know, biracial female that I kind of looked up to as a kid. So I think if I can do that for children today, little 5-year-old today, then that's amazing. And I think to be Star Trek to be so hot on it, and you know, for so long as well, since the 60s, you know, it's incredible and exactly what we need right now.
Thank you very much for your work and your time.
Thank you.
Good to meet you. I'm Jason, this is Lucy, we're from the Nerds of Color.
Oh, hi.
Big fan. I have tried to pass down my different fandoms to my daughter. And some have taken, like Doctor Who and Marvel, but unfortunately I have not yet been able to pass on Star Trek. So, what do you recommend? How do I get her into the fraternity?
I recommend that you're not going to like this, man.
Okay.
I recommend that you support your daughter's desire to watch other shows than Star Trek. Find ways to meet in the middle, and then maybe you do a thing where there's a show your daughter loves that you're not interested in, and you trade episodes, so that she introduces you to something she loves, and then you introduce her to something you love, and then you have an opportunity for a conversation out of both of those experiences.
That's great. Well, thank you very much.
And just as a dad, I think it's super awesome that you guys are doing this together. It's
Yeah.
really cool.
Thank you.
I asked my kid to come with me today, and he was like, "No, man, I'm raiding in Warcraft all day."
Well, it's good to meet you. Thank you very much.
Lectures, fanboys, professional artists, and professors. Maybe a nerd who's just like you, talking about the things that you like too. So I invite you to the NOC. In full color, you see me. The Hard Knock Life, comics, movies, and TV. Yeah, pop culture with a different perspective. Watch it on your screen, hit play, so check this.